Hey guys, happy Friday. Welcome newsies to the Friday the 13th edition of Neurodiversity Newsstand, the vlog. I am Becca Laurie Hector, your, I don't know, news director. I don't know what we call ourselves these days. I need some kind of title. I don't know. Maybe I don't. In any case, here we are on Friday. I am freshly showered and wearing my Spectrum Women shirt because I have to do another video after I do this one because I'm going to start doing this cool thing with Spectrum Women. So we just had the anniversary to our book not that long ago. So it was like, oh, there, you can see it right there. And it was been a year since it's been published, and so for our anniversary we took questions from our readers and our followers online and did our best to answer them via video, and it was really successful. We all had fun doing it. I especially had fun doing it, and we got a lot of really good feedback from everybody. People seemed really interested. So I said, well, what if I make like a thing of it? Can I do it more regularly? Can I, will you guys be interested in questions? So I'm going to film that video asking whether everybody wants it, or starting like the intro video to that thing today after I'm done with this. So I know you may notice that I'm a little bit distracted today. My autism might be showing, like I'm super fidgety and I can't keep my thoughts focused on you guys and what I'm supposed to be doing here. And I'm going to share with you why. So something you may or may not know about me. If you're new to the channel, for example, you wouldn't know that my husband and I are both huge animal people, and he's especially a dog person. Right now he is boarding, as he runs a business, boarding and training dogs and taking care of them for the day or whatever here at our home. So we both work from home. I have my little office, and most of what I do is on the computer or on my phone or whatever. And so I have my little tiny space, and he has another room upstairs where we let dogs board with us. And this week, and he just got here yesterday, we are boarding a purebred bloodhound. And those of you who know me well and know Walter know that he's got big old hound ears, and I'm a big sucker for hounds. I love floppy ears and squishy faces. And this little Henry, not so little, he's over 100 pounds. He is the cutest ever, smushy faced. I don't know, I just want to like squish his face and go like this and kiss him and hug him all the time. So he's here, and I am totally distracted because all I want to do is go play with him right now. So I'm sorry for that. But I'm going to go do that when we're done here. And I'm autistic, so that's how it happens. It happens over your special interest. And, oh, let's do this thing, right? Because I'm looking at it. Wait, I have to figure out how to turn my head. Oh, this way. Okay. Can you guys see? It's happening. It's happening. It's coming in on the sides here. You see how I look bald? I'm not bald, it's actually white hair. And so it matches my scalp, and it's very disturbing. So when I lift my hair like this, which I do often out of habit, yeah, I can see it all under there. My undercut that I had, whatever, it's all growing out huge. It's really getting quite long. And I'm excited, but I don't know if I'm ready for my natural hair. We'll find out. I don't know. We're going to do this together. But I do like how it's feeling now that I'm not coloring it so much anymore. So I'm going to roll with it for a little bit. It'll be kind of fun and interesting. So I hope you guys are enjoying watching that happen. But let's get ourselves to the news, because here we are on Friday the 13th. It's also a full moon today. So it's a really witchy day. So for you fellow witches out there, it's tonight to make moon water would be this evening. It's a nice good one. Should be some powerful stuff going on. So if you run across a black cat today, take the time to celebrate his glory and pet him, because a lot of these superstitions come from a really amazing place, and so love those black cats. Okay, anyway, let's get ourselves to the news and off of me. This week, interesting news week. We had some stuff go on. We had a lot of conversations about some things. So I'm going to start out with the article that was in Psychology Today, and the title was of it. Wow, I cannot speak today, you guys. And the title of it was, "Are the Voices of the Severely Autistic Being Silenced?" And it was a really interesting article about what we consider to be valid communication, I want to say. And it was a lot of talk about that. And so what I liked about it is that It gave visibility to the contingent of our community that uses other devices to help facilitate communication. What I didn't like about it was that it was really kind of dismissive of people that use facilitated communication. For many people, that was a beginning to using a keyboard or using a letterboard or something like that. So it was interesting, and I saw one of our really, really fantastic advocates of that part of our community, Amy Sequenzia, talking about how she felt about it, and was really sad actually to see it shared so widely. So that posed us some interesting conversations in our group, and I saw conversations in other groups where the article was being shared. So I say to you, you guys, stay up and informed on what's going on in our community, and remember that there are lots of segments in our community that need to be represented when we're talking about neurodiversity. So Amy, shout out to you because I saw a lot of your comments in there. But yeah, let's talk about that. And if you missed that article, please go back and take a read of it. It's a super good one. Out of the UK this week, we had some DUH research. So I kind of squished them together, and I'm going to share that DUH research with you guys. I call it DUH research because for those of us who are in the community and are living and breathing autism and neurodiversity, we sort of know a lot of these things anecdotally, and the research is slow to catch up behind us, right? Okay, so here we are. Number one, the research was 4 out of 5 disabled people feel anxious using public transportation. Duh! It's not made for us. It's not comfortable. It's really difficult if you're somebody with a physical disability. I know people with physical disabilities struggle a lot. Those of us with invisible disabilities struggle quite a bit as well. And so, duh, is what we have to say to it. But now we have it on record, I guess, and we can talk about it like it's real, because it is. And then the other piece of duh research that came out this week: 2/3 of autistic adults are not getting supports they need. Ta-da! Right? I don't know how this is still a research study. We've known this. We've known this for a very long time. That's really how it feels. But out now, we have numbers, we have research. Great. And that both of those studies came out of the UK this week. Then we had a really great article called Unstoppable: Disability Caused by the Way Society is Structured Rather Than by a Person's Impairment. This one was a good one for discussion. We talked about it in the groups. I actually shared it in both groups. I wanted to see the conversation, and the conversation was pretty similar in both groups. You know, it's a double-edged sword. Yes, there are many components of having a disability that are absolutely created by our world, by society's rules or society's unwritten rules. And that kind of thing, but there's also components, at least for me and a few of us others in the group that talked about it, where our struggles with our disability are internal and so personal that it has almost nothing to do with the outside world, right? It's all about kind of our processes of doing things and how we see the world and how we're functioning in it. And so it can be challenging even when you're sitting home sometimes, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You know, you're sitting home, you're not part of society, you're all alone, whatever, but you still could be challenged by components of your disability, like executive functioning issues, like sensory issues. Happens all the time, right? Hopefully it's a little bit easier at home. Hopefully that's your safe space, but certainly we don't want to say that all components of our differences are kind of put upon us by society. That's certainly not correct. But it was a really good article. I liked a lot of the things that were said in it. It caused a lot of conversation, which is what I use as kind of the tool of which articles from our week I'm going to put in the vlog. So it made it because we talked a lot in there. Next was a piece by an autistic that also came out of the UK, and I was interested in our conversation. I liked the direction it was taking. So the article was called "I Want Autistic People to Be Seen as Equal." And while that is a really great concept, and we all really actually enjoyed her piece a lot, the conversation that we ended up having about it was that equal isn't so great. I don't want exactly the same things that everybody else has. They don't mean as much to me, right? If I don't want necessarily to have all of us be the same either. I really enjoy our differences, and so equal is kind of a hard word, and what we really mean to be using is a word more like equity. And so that's a conversation I think we should be having in our group. We started it here. Maybe I'll post a meme about equity and equality, and we can talk about it some more next week. But I thought it was a really good article, really well written, again, from the perspective of another autistic adult, and we got to give props where we give them, because we all had great conversations after her piece. So way to go, Charlotte. On to the next. I feel like I'm speeding through a little bit today. I'm sorry. I really want to go play with this dog. I can't believe it. I'm going to put a link to my husband's, to Antonio's pet care, which is his business. And I'm going to put a link to it in the description of this video so that you can see the dog, for which I am having so much distraction. Because he's adorable. But anyway, here we go. So this was a really important one. Okay, so this ended up, it just, just got shared to us a couple of days ago, 2 days ago maybe, at most. But wow, the reception. And then I've seen it shared a couple of other places. But this one came to us via someone who I hold near and dear to my heart. Matt Lerner, who's over at Stony Brook, at the Stony Brook Labs. He has his own lab, the Lerner Lab there. It's the Social Competence and Learning Lab. That is what it's called. And so if you're out in Long Island in New York and you can get to Stony Brook, he does some really amazing studies. But I love that he's in our group because he brings us really good science articles, and this one was great. So Matt, thank you for this one, because he wanted our opinions, which I love about our group. I love that people see our group for that. It's why I created the group, because it's autistic adults, it's also autistic parents, it's also parents of autistic children, it's also educators and professors and researchers and people that work for nonprofits and occupational therapists and speech language pathologists, and we're all in there together because neurodiversity and the news thereabout interests all of us. And so Matt put it out to us because he wanted to know what our thoughts were about this and kind of get a nice well-rounded opinion. So I say to you, Matt, nice call, great group to ask, and we did have some really good conversation about it. So the study came out of the National Academy of Sciences, and it was about predicting social... how do I say that? I don't think I wrote down the whole... Oh, here it is. Here's the article title. I'm a mess today. I told you guys. It's crazy. I probably shouldn't have recorded today. I don't know. Autism spectrum traits predict higher psychological skills. Okay? So I like that. I like that concept that we're talking about autistics who supposedly are struggle with those areas, and yet we might have better skill sets in other areas of psychological awareness. And so taking a look at it, what they were talking about were that yes, we may struggle in interpersonal dynamics, but autistics seem to be really well equipped to look at a large group of people and make general assumptions and understandings and be able to predict behavior better and predict trends, social trends better, actually, than neurotypical people, which I think is fantastic. So they called it the theories of the social world and assumptions about human nature are what we seem to do best in understanding. And I thought, wow, that's really fantastic. And we're good at this social thing. But then I loved our conversation, because in the conversation, the topic of masking came up. So Jessica, I saw you posting after that article, and she talked about how masking, why we're so good at masking, is because we're good at these predictive understandings of what a group of people will interpret from our behavior and what it is they're looking for in order to feel comfortable. So we have a new window into masking with this piece. It really was a great piece of conversation. I love taking a look at the study. Matt, thank you so much for sharing it. Super shout out to you. You guys go back and read it and think about the implications that this would have on the way that autistics are viewed by a general population. I think it was interesting. So thank you for that one, Matt. It was super amazing and good. Little fun stuffs. We didn't have too much little fun stuff this week. Not a lot of really funny, clever memes came around that we all kind of laughed at. But there was really one standout, and I have to give props to this one. I have to say props to you, Autistic Bride, for your meme this week, which was a drawing of a girl's face, and kind of a, yeah, like a, I don't want to call it an animation, but a cartoonish type drawing of a girl's face. And it had two giant arms coming out of her eyeballs and giving the middle finger and talking about this is how autistics feel when we get asked to make eye contact. And it was hilarious. The visual was perfect. It was on point, and it was appreciated by many in our community. I saw it shared many, many times over. It was certainly enjoyed in our group, and so shout out to you, Autistic Bride. Thanks for that one. Also, in terms of events coming up, I just saw this announcement come through this week. So if you guys are interested in Interoception and you live in New Jersey, Kelly Mahler is coming your way in early December 3rd and 4th. She is doing a 2-day course on Interoception at the Education Resource Incorporated, I think it is, or Inclusion or something like that. I wrote a little short to me, but I will put the link as always in the bottom for registration or for you to go ahead and take a look at that. So those of you who are watching from New Jersey and are interested in learning more about Kelly Mahler's work and about the importance of interoception and how it works, please go and check that out. Again, the link will be in the bottom. So that's it. That's all I've got for you today out of Neurodiversity Newsstand. We didn't have a lot of really important articles, but the few that we had spurred a lot of conversation, and so I've shared those with you guys. If you're new to my channel and you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you take the time to go ahead and subscribe. If you're not new to the channel and you're still enjoying Neurodiversity Newsstand and you could give me a thumbs up to let me know that I should still keep making these videos, I'd appreciate it. And as always, if you have comments about what I've said here or something I may have missed in our group that you think is important, please go ahead and leave me comments here or find me on any of the social medias and of course in Neurodiversity Newsstand, the groups, one on LinkedIn and one on Facebook, and I will put all of those links and all the news story links in the description of this video. And I'm gonna go play with Henry. I'm so excited to go play with this mushy dog. I'm probably gonna take pictures of him all weekend and he'll probably hate me by Sunday. Okay, I'm gonna go smush on him. I will put a link to his gorgeous pictures too, so you guys know what a nut job I am. And I will see you next Friday if I don't see you this week in Neurodiversity Newsstand. That was your Neurodiversity News in a nutshell. I'm Becca Lori Hector, and I will see you next Friday, newsies.